What is up, Retro Maniacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm from Mike's Retro Trading Cards, and I'm joined by two men that gave up some really important Easter egg hunts today to be on this show. They are Joe Day and EP Eric Pahalik. How you doing, guys?
Doing good. Rob didn't feed me any poison this morning,
Oh,
but
good.
I'm still just drinking coffee, no beer. No beer
The
today.
viewers spoke. They did not like subdued Joe Day last week.
Oh, well, then for the viewers, okay, I'll crack open a beer.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, for the viewers. Got to take one for the team. Cheers, boys. Merry Easter. Happy holidays, whatever you're supposed to say.
I don't know. Easter. I think it's Easter. As we're recording it, it's not going to be when you watch it on Monday or Tuesday or whenever you watch it. But yeah, what's going on, EP?
I saw or heard about this week and a really awesome way to collect that I would just blew me away. It's partial set collecting, and the person is like a basketball collector, and what he does is when he finds a set that he really likes, he collects an NBA Jam set. So it's two players per team. Okay. So you get to see all the logos of all the teams. You get to pick the two players that you want, like the two players from each team, and that's his set that's his collection of that set. I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool thing. I thought that was
cool. Yeah.
I have a question for you boys.
Yeah.
I didn't make it in for Easter this year to the hometown of Danville, PA. The plan was to come in and hit up a card show with you guys. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, again, didn't make it in, but you guys still went to the card show. I was feeling some FOMO. How was the card show? Tell me about it. What'd I miss?
It was awesome. There's 57 tables. I'm guessing there's probably more tables than they normally have there, right?
It was a pretty big show for a little, dead mall show in, central Pennsylvania.
Where was it? Was it Columbia Mall or
Susquehanna Mall?
Susquehanna? Is that mall dead too?
Pretty much. I mean,
oh, that's sad.
Close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still some stores hanging on in there, but yeah, it was a pretty good show. A lot of dealers there. I actually didn't leave with a trunk full of cards, though.
I was just going to ask, how many pallets of cards did you walk out with, Mike?
I think it's the first that he's not needed a cart to at least take one trip, if not multiple trips.
And did you even really go?
I know. I don't know. I bought so much stuff, and I think because I was actually going through everything to get ready for my stack sale I have coming up soon, I was comping all the cards, and I actually saw how many I had and saw what I had a lot harder time convincing myself I needed more. So when you actually take the time to kind of inventory what you already have bought, you're less likely to just keep buying more and more of it. So I think I hit that point this week. So didn't buy too much.
Yeah, I said if you finally reach the saturation point, the point where you just have too many cards in your possession, I feel like that's probably what happened.
I left with a bag instead. So
what'd you get, EP?
I got a box of junk. I got a 1990 score box for $20, and then the 5 cards that I had pulled, $5 cards, including a couple Jordans that I pulled from this guy's thing. He threw those in to go along with it, then gave me another Michael Gallup rookie card as well as a free throw in. So then I got some, picked out a bunch of cards from a couple of other dealers, and just fun stuff. It's a couple 10-cent cards, a couple 25-cent cards, a couple $1 cards, a couple $5 cards. Just what you do at a card show.
He spent more money than I did.
I did.
No.
Yeah.
What?
He did.
Wow, that's impressive, EP.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I spent like what, $80 or so? 80 to 100, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So what you said. I have no confirmation of what you spent. So.
And Mike spent less than that, which is
mind
blowing to me.
Yeah. And I got a nice little selection of Griffey and Jeter cards, and bought a box of 1991 Fleer football. Who doesn't want that?
Wow.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Nice.
For $15, come on. Can't be.
I got 3 packs. I got 3 packs from another dealer, and I got no provisions out of mine. Very upsetting.
Tough. Yeah, so it was a pretty good time. I was actually the guy that I've been buying a lot of the junk from.
How sad was he?
He didn't. He didn't bring like junk wax with him. He actually kind of said to me that last time he actually felt a little bad because of all the stuff that he pawned off. I kind of have a habit of making it look like I'm getting my teeth pulled when I'm, making a deal. Like,
Right.
oh, like, come on, man. Like, and
That's part
so
of it, man.
yeah, he actually felt bad about it. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't want to. So he didn't have to feel bad about it. So yeah, but that's where I bought the Griffey and the Jeter cards from. I paid a little more for them than I may have for some of the other trips, but he did also say he has like a bunch of like junk wax era non-sports packs. So he took my number and he's going to text me pictures of that. And I told him that I'd definitely be interested. So I may not have spent money at the show, but I
You're
may
making
have
connections
made
spend
a
money.
deal, a deal might come out of it. So money will still come out of my wallet.
Well, supposedly there's another show on May 20th, right? So that weekend I'm gonna push my Easter visit to May, and hopefully I'll be able to join you fellas at that one.
I hope so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Troy will be happy to see you with all his non-sport stuff.
Right.
He's got
I
some
asked
cool
him
stuff
about
in there,
Doctor Strange, but he didn't really have anything. So
yeah,
I was a little disappointed in him.
No Kennys, no fun Kenny cards.
No, he didn't this time. So we looked for. I didn't saw a couple Pickett's like in a Steelers uniform, but I didn't really see any of the draft pick cards. So we were looking, we just didn't find any.
Maybe next time. Time. Let's do it.
Never know. Maybe they're just waiting for you to be there.
They're waiting for me and my fat stacks.
they want us to record them for the channel.
That's
and
true.
Negotiating with the one and only Joe Day. I mean,
that's right.
You don't want to pass up that opportunity. But yeah, the guy that I bought the stuff from, again, like last time I mentioned to him about the podcast here and maybe having him on because he bought a storage unit
that's right.
From a card shop that went out of business. Somebody bought out the stuff from the card shop, like took what they wanted, and they had 3 storage units full, and he bought one of them. So I said maybe we'll have you on the channel to talk about that experience sometime, and he was really into it, and he like brought it up to me right away. He's like, I haven't heard from you, so we should work on that. That'd be pretty cool to have him on. I think it'd be an interesting story, and I think our viewers would probably like to hear it. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, well, if you guys don't have anything else you want to get into, let's get into the topics.
Well, let me talk about Fleer Ultra. Oh, no. Okay. EP,
anybody Fleer Ultra 2023 top, 2023 top need to get out.
We
don't have enough time this week. No. So let's get started with this one. NBA Insider, let me try to get this. Shams Charania. Thank you. I'm trying to throw the last name out there. If it's not pronounced that way, it's not my fault. I heard it that way in a video online. But anyway, our old buddy Shams, he's an NBA insider. So it's very interesting that he tweeted, Fanatics is launching basketball cards under its Topps brand beginning with the 23-24 NBA season, which, if you know about basketball, just happens to coincide with it being the rookie year of Victor Wembanyama. So his cards are going to be incredibly hot. Been a lot of talk, a lot of conjecture about what this means. Like, people aren't really sure what this means. I'll throw it to you guys first. I have some strong opinions about what I think it could be, but what kind of a product do you think it's going to be?
I think it could be like, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, we might say the same thing. Kind of like Bowman U a little bit, like where there's no emblems. I think they have them now, logos now in Bowman U. But last year, because I remember I was looking at Kenny Pickett cards and they had no pit logos because they didn't have the license to do them. So to me, I think it's going to be like how Panini does baseball right now. Unlicensed, but they still have the individual contracts with the players, I think is how they NIL. So, I mean, I don't know. I suspect it's going to be an unlicensed product.
Yeah, same. Well, exactly the same. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really don't. First of all, we know Michael Rubin has a lot of ties in the NBA. He was, part owner of Sixers. He knows all the players. We've seen the videos. Who was it? Was it John Morant that he called? It was somebody that he FaceTimed with at a card shop for a kid who was a collector of that.
Wow.
So the fact that an NBA Insider is tweeting this doesn't seem like an accident to me. I think, Fanatics, Michael Rubin's like, you know what? We'll sneak this out. Here's this little tidbit for you. And it says they're going to start making them for the 2023-2024 NBA season. Doesn't say it's NBA cards, but as far as I understand, Panini has the exclusive license for both the Players Association and the league. So they couldn't, as far as I know, they wouldn't be able to put out a set with the NBA players without the team logo, because part of the deal was it was the Players Association and the league. So they already make cards of the NIL players, guys that aren't in the league and stuff now. So I don't think that an NBA, a huge, like Shams is like one of the big NBA insiders. And like, I don't think he's tweeting out about it just because it's nothing. I think there's more to it. Whether or not, I don't think they're buying Panini, like that ship, I think sailed. But what about the potential of Panini maybe sub-licensing the NBA to Fanatics? Like, if you're Panini, you're losing the license come 2026. You're done, right? So you're going to make your money off your cards. Maybe if Fanatics came to you with a number, okay, we can't buy you, we can't get the licenses from you, but why don't we pay you this amount of money and you also let us produce cards? Maybe that, I feel like that is a real possibility. I don't know. I might be reading too much into this, but I think the fact that it was an NBA insider, it's not a card person. We're going way bigger than that. Like, Fanatics marketing wants to draw in all kinds of new people. So this isn't released to card people. This is released to everybody. And I don't think the guy's just randomly throwing it out because he doesn't know anything about cards. I feel like they're going to end up with an NBA licensed product that's coming out. Go ahead.
That's wild.
Well, I was going to say, you just made a really good point about Rubin and his connections. I wouldn't be surprised if this ShamWow or whatever, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. Shams, I wouldn't be surprised if Rubin fed him this information.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was saying.
It could be, just random, non-licensed cards. I mean, just to get the buzz around it. It doesn't mean it has to be some huge announcement that Fanatics is getting a sub license or maybe even buying the license out from.
What benefit is it though to like have an NBA guy tweeting out this if you're not making a card set that you're already doing these kind of card sets is not NBA players? Like, what benefit would there be to have him doing that? That seems like it would be counterproductive from a marketing standpoint to me, because if you have NBA fans going, oh cool, I'll look for that, and then they're like, wait, these aren't even NBA cards. Like, I don't think that sounds
that's like going off of the premise that I think they're doing a Panini thing. That being said, I don't think they can do baseball thing. But if you're saying that they can't do that, then that throws that idea out, right? I mean, if they can't make actual player cards, so that's the premise we're under right now, is they can't even make cards of the players.
If I'm understanding, I believe that Panini has the NBA and the NBA Players Association exclusive license. I could be wrong, but from the information I was looking up, that was what I saw was part of the deal when they got it. It was
so
the
Panini
NBA
doesn't have the NFL Players Association. They just have the NFL license, because Topps makes football cards.
But they're making like college cards. Like
it's college. It's pre NFL.
They're not making
right.
Like,
I mean, couldn't they do that? Right. Couldn't Panini Topps and Fanatics be doing that with basketball?
But that's my point. They already do that. So why would an NBA insider be tweeting out that they're going to start, which is a key word, releasing under the Topps name in the 2023-2024 NBA season. Like, why? Like, who cares if they're doing a McDonald's All-Star Game set if it doesn't have anything to do with NBA players?
So he didn't say that they're making NBA cards. He said they're releasing
the
a
direct
set during
tweet
the
is
NBA
that
season.
Fanatics is launching basketball cards under its Topps brand beginning with the 2023-2024 NBA season. So
that
he didn't
really
say,
feels like he is parsing his words very, very closely to make sure he doesn't say they're making NBA cards. To me, anyway, that's how it
started like with the 2023-2024 NBA season. He's throwing the words NBA, the letters NBA out there. So I don't know. I think there's way
I don't know.
more
It feels like
to
clickbait to me. I mean,
Mikey, the two of us talked about this a little bit, so I wanted to let Joe talk about it for a while. You kind of, I wasn't going to spoil it. We're talking about this the Panini thing, and I agree. Like that's a good way. If that's the thing that they can do, why would Panini not do it? Why not make extra money off this license while we have it for a few more years? Like we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna continue to make our money off the cards. If we can make this extra money and have them pay an exorbitant amount of money to produce these cards, like why not do it? The alternatively, I think there's one other thing is like they could do retired players, which I don't think I think once you retire, you're outside of the MLBPA. And there was that wasn't there a photo of like Kenny Smith signing cards at like a restaurant or something like that, or got like a booth, like signing a ton of cards for something?
They already did though. They did that finest set last year that had retired players in it. So again, it wouldn't be anything new. That's already stuff they've already done. So I think the fact that it said beginning with the 2023-2024 NBA season, that's what I'm sticking with. Like, it's Fanatics. You're talking again. I've said it a million times. This is a big boy company. This isn't a little trading card company. Michael Rubin.
Guys, in case you're wondering, Mike is not being paid by Fanatics. The last couple of weeks, it may seem that way, but he is not officially being paid by Fanatics.
I want people to understand though, like, you had Topps, you had Panini, and now you have Fanatics. They're not the same. Like, one of those companies is huge. They're ginormous. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of pull. They have like Michael Rubin has a lot of clout. Like, that's who owns Panini? You don't know. You know who owns Fanatics. And I don't want to speak for him, but I guarantee you, like, out of all the sports though, what sport do you think Michael Rubin wants to get?
Oh yeah, for sure.
First? Like, it's NBA. He loves the NBA. He has connections with so many players. Like, that is his sport.
Also thinking about him and Fanatics, I cannot see them producing a non-licensed product. They're not going to have an NBA product that doesn't have the NBA logos or the NBA players.
I think that that would. I feel like that would hurt them before like 2026 when they get the license. Like, people, if you put that in people's heads that they're the unlicensed brand, like, how do you then become the main deal? Like, I know they're going to be, but I feel like that kind of taints what you're going to put out.
Did Panini do that though when they first got into sports cards here in the US? Did they go unlicensed with basketball the first couple of years? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure
I wasn't.
That was when I was out of it. Like, that was what, 2009 they got the license.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody had the license then too. There wasn't exclusivity at that point, right? Like, I think they were all able to produce with all the logos.
Well, they did when Panini got it. It became an exclusive license, but I guess like none of the other companies wanted it at the time. So.
So I think we all agree that Fanatics wants to make NBA cards. That's not in dispute, right? My question is, take it from the other side. Why would Panini do this? Why would they give a leg up to Fanatics? How will Fanatics producing basketball cards hurt their sales of their basketball cards? It might not. It might be card collectors just can't get enough, and they're gonna gorge themselves on cards any chance they get. So if they have this Topps product they can buy, they're still going to buy the Panini products. But if you're Panini, why would you give them a head start? Unless the money is so crazy. Well, it's obviously money. I think that's a duh, right? But like, if the money has to be
the host of the podcast.
I know. I mean, I think. Wait, you're telling me there's money involved in cards? What's happening? But like, is the money
just
so
remember,
good?
I can just mute you anytime I want to. Anyway.
I usually save that just for baseball. Is the money so good? Or are they going to give them so much money that they're willing to say, we don't care if we don't sell as much of Prism, as much of National Treasures, as much as all these big name products?
They're going to sell that.
That's a possibility. I mean, they're still going to sell the Prism, but that's a possibility. They're going to come at them with a huge amount, right? Like
with the breaking community out there, do you really think that people aren't going to want their allocations of that product? They're gonna. So I think from Panini's perspective, they don't think it's going to hurt what they're going to sell, and I don't think it will. Plus, you could make more, probably a huge chunk of money with no overhead. Like that's all coming in, and it's profit. Like it's not costing you anything to do that. So, plus there are rumors out there too that Fanatics have kind of control over the printers. There's rumors out there, like apparently there isn't any mega boxes being printed this year for Prism football. So like some people are thinking that maybe that has something to do with it too. Maybe Panini is seeing that, oh crap, they just took over that and we can't even get what we need printed to the level we need it printed. So if that's true, that could have something to do with it too.
Part of the negotiation is, could you please unleash our printers? Can you allow us to print cards, please? Would that be part of the contract? It's like that scene from Moneyball where he's like, oh, I also want you to stock our soda machines. Like, it's like, can you please let us print cards if we let you make NBA cards?
Just a rumor. I don't know for sure, but just
by the way, viewers, if Mike says something's just a rumor and it's coming from Fanatics, it's gospel, because him and Rubens, they are tight. They're very tight.
I mean,
how do you think he pays for all of this?
Exactly. Look at those lights. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Think I'm doing that with Panini money? No. Look at Ziggy and his videos with his Panini hat on, and then look at our setup. Obviously, you want to hook your anchor with Fanatics. So I don't know how that expression goes. Whatever.
So it'll be interesting. So we'll revisit this, and when's the NBA season start? In 6 months or so?
We'll revisit it if I'm right. And
no, I'll revisit it if you're wrong. You know I will.
I have control over the final edit of this show, so we may or may not be talking about it.
The viewers have no idea how wrong Mike always is because he takes it all out.
Yeah, this show's actually 4 hours long. Every weekend it's 4 hours long.
Yeah.
We got 3 hours.
We'll have the 3 hours that I'm wrong. Well,
but will you, one last point to this, will you at least admit that tweet from our boy Shams it's like, it feels like he is really tiptoeing. Like, I want to say this, but I don't want to say it. I don't know. That's how
but you're taking I would agree that he's saying something without saying it, but we're looking at it from two completely different angles. Like you're looking at it like they're not really doing NBA. I'm looking at it like he's saying they're doing NBA, but that
without saying, because he can't legally
it hasn't
say
been announced yet, but he knows something. Right. I feel like one of them is more possible.
And I feel like also
we'll find out in a few months or not if Mike's wrong.
I mean,
I'll go back and edit.
I'll go back and edit
this video. And somehow I'll be the one saying they're making NBA cards. Oh, they're clearly making.
You hear Mike's voice, and
my mouth will be moving, but the words coming out of it won't match. Yeah,
it's gonna be deep faked, like you would not believe.
You think we're kidding too?
Yeah, Mike does not bring up that grading is not $12. I'm just saying he has not brought that up.
Yeah,
and neither have I. Neither have I yet.
Going there, it is.
You need to grade some Bird Emanuel cards for me after that.
You want to put a bow on this CP?
I was just gonna say that the Shams he's not in the card space, so he probably doesn't talk the way we talk about cards. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's could be part of the reason why the tweet isn't quite.
Or he read a statement prepared by Fanatics.
Bingo. That we do agree on. Yes.
Right.
Well, in a development that may or may not be related, multiple employees have resigned from Panini. We have people in their product development department, in their acquisitions department. A few of them have already joined Fanatics. There are, I think, maybe 6 employees altogether, and some of them definitely have been announced as taking positions at Fanatics. Fanatics has been like hiring a whole lot of people. So also, this is happening right after they were all together at the Mint Collective last weekend. I don't think the timing of this, like, again, you have a big company here saying, you know what, if you guys want to come over here, get off that sinking ship. And apparently quite a few people took the life preservers and they're being reeled right in. I think it might be connected. I don't know. Who knows? What do you think, Joe? You're the voice of reason here.
Well,
when has Joe ever been called the voice of reason? When?
All the time.
When I'm going off of my like tinfoil hat conspiracies, right? That's when he becomes the voice of reason.
It is. It's scary. So if Fanatics hired the people in charge of acquisitions at Panini, I'd like to understand what they're acquiring because all their jerseys are fake. So I'd like to know why are you hiring people from a company that's really, really bad at the thing you want to be good at? That's just me. I mean, maybe hire some other people, maybe not hire Panini people. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe all the people at Panini are really good and just, the corporation is holding them back. I don't know, but it's just they haven't made good products in a few years. I don't know why you're bringing people over from Panini to help you make your product great. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, it's valid, but I also think it's like 6 people, which I'm not sure what their staffing is, but like it's 6 people. And if you're somebody who is there and you're super talented and you're at the point where you're like, this prism design is the same every freaking year, I'm so sick of it. You're talented and you're at the Mint Collective and somebody walks up to you and says, hey, we're hiring. We heard you're pretty good.
Oh, from their perspective, you're hopping ship for sure. Yeah, I mean,
right,
that goes without saying.
And so again, I don't know what the staffing over the full staffing level is for them, but 6 people doesn't seem like it's the full amount. It probably is only a handful of the people, and like you don't think about the different departments that they have. Like Mike, you read the ones off, Mike, but I'm sure there are multiple people in those departments, and I feel like that they're cherry picking, they're picking the best ones out. They're taking some really talented people, hopefully, and the hope is that they're taking the really talented people and they're going to do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know who they are and what they've been responsible for. Like you said, they could be the guys like, guys, look at this design, and somebody else is like, no, we have to do it exactly like last year or else people won't buy it. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, they have a lot of positions they're filling. Actually, Fanatics also has some kind of position that's the head of their autograph and memorabilia team. So like, again, I feel like they're going to be putting out on-card autographs, maybe.
Wait, they didn't hire anyone from Panini for that position, did they?
Yeah, that one is still open as far
that
as
one
I know.
needs to be full on Fanatics or anyone else but Panini.
But yeah, I think if anything, this kind of signals that they're not buying Panini. Like, I feel like if they were going to buy Panini, it would have happened by now, right? So aren't we to the point where Fanatics is like, okay, you don't want to sell to us, watch, we'll just do it ourselves. So like, I don't, it could be, I think some of this is related to the first topic in the NBA cards. I feel like things are changing quicker. I feel like Fanatics will definitely be in the game before they get the licenses.
It's also maybe a strong arm, move to try to force them to sell.
Oh yeah,
I mean, yeah,
could be.
Yeah,
they're again, they're a big boy. So Panini's been running the show, but now they have somebody coming in that's bullying them a little bit, and I don't terribly feel sorry for them. So. All right. So moving away from the conspiracies a little bit, did you guys see that Layton Sports is going to be doing an early break of Bowman baseball? They're going to be doing it in conjunction with Fanatics, who's allowing them to break the product early, and they're going to be doing it at the SGC headquarters, and the cards will be graded like in real time, like that are being pulled out of the breaks. Like, wow. Again, that's something new.
Love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Yep.
When the few breakers I watch, I don't get in breaks. I'm not Mike. Wait, yeah, that's the right direction, right? I'm not Mike. I don't get into breaks, but I love watching him as background noise. Layton's the one I watch, except when he has Blez on and he takes his shirt off, then I'm out. But I don't think Blez is going to be at the SGC break. But I really enjoy their content. I've never had an issue with them outside of that one time. Was it Flawless, NBA Flawless? I think they opened up all those cases. And I really like that they're SGC, man, making moves. My most prominent card here, this Bert Emanuel card, is in an SGC slab.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, you do. I'm excited. SGC making some moves. They did the thing with 2023 Topps baseball. Let me just take a nap because EP will get excited from it. And now they're doing this cool thing with Bowman. I just want to know some more of the details. I want to know if it's going to be they're letting the person who got the card in the break, they're determining whether they want it graded. Like how's that work? Where are the logistics of that? I know Rich from Layton mentioned that they might be selling player specific spots, which might get interesting. But yeah, I think it's a great move for both companies.
Yeah, I think I heard that they're going to actually have player specific spots. So like literally everybody's going to be able to get in. Like there's going to be tons of different.
They want to have a lot more people, be involved in it. Yeah,
right. I wouldn't be surprised if the prices are not terrible either, right? Like, because I mean, this is a kind of a fun thing. I
would hope.
Don't even know.
Yeah.
I wonder how.
I mean, they're still going to do okay, I'm sure.
Well, I mean,
Layton will make some money.
I'm guessing Bowman is. Well, I wonder if. I mean, it maybe that Bowman or SGC will pay them, but I wonder if Bowman's giving them this box for a publicity type of thing. Bowman and SGC, they're working together for this publicity type of thing, where it's going to cost nothing. It's going to be like a lottery to get in or something like that too. Like, I don't know how. Obviously, this is all speculation, but
how much are they actually breaking?
I think it's a case, maybe.
Is it a case?
I think it's like one case early, like something along those lines. So, and I mean that could be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing what it is. Probably not. I mean, depends. If it's free, I'll put my name in there. If it's like a lottery type thing, I'll put my name in there. But I mean, I got three jumbo boxes coming, so
I do think I heard they'll be selling the spots on the website. I could be wrong, but I think in the video where he announced it that I think I heard selling, because I remember thinking to myself, but that kind of seems like that's the one part of it I don't really like. Like we're gonna do this special thing. Like I feel like maybe a giveaway or something would have been better for the hobby instead of a company just making money. But I don't know how it was set up or anything. But it's again, we talked about Fanatics and marketing. This is marketing. Here they're doing something unique that's going to get eyeballs on their product that they're releasing. Really cool SGC too, to be grading these like you're going to buy a card, and I guess the grading is part of the break that you're buying. So I don't know if they're going to grade every card, or
I'd hope not.
I don't know, but I haven't seen, but
probably chromes like firsts and parallels,
maybe
like that,
like inserts, parallels, autographs, or something like that. But
we need really Peter on here to answer some questions. I need to know. I need to know all the details.
You were supposed to have him on, didn't you? Call him.
I know
you talk with him all the time.
I was texting with him. I totally forgot to bring him on. I get what you're saying, Mike, about wouldn't it be better for the hobby if it was a free thing? Layton's not the only one making money on this, right? I mean,
I know, and money. The logistics of figuring out how to make it a free thing would be tough too. So
so I don't have a problem with it. Now, if they gouge the customers where it's like $100 a player or something ridiculous like that, that'd be shitty. But I mean, as long as they're not being over the top with the cost. But again, this is a more professional breaker. right? Like, say what you will about Layton, they are primarily very professional,
Yeah.
not
Not one of the fly by
not one of
night
the other fly by night.
gonna steal your card. Yeah.
Right. And they're not one of the ones who go crazy and compare cards to Teslas. So like, I mean, they're more professional. SGC, very professional company. Peter, very professional guy. I mean, this will be a very, very cool event. I'll probably watch it. I don't care about baseball, but I'll still sneak in and see how it looks.
This is another one of those things that has like Fanatics like fingerprints all over it of like trying to grow the hobby and trying, doing the marketing type stuff, because it's, I mean, in my opinion, it's a pretty huge thing. I'm guessing that also they're going to do another deal with SGC where they, they're going to lower the price and have a deal for Bowman. I mean, they did it for Bowman Chrome last year. They did it for Series 1 this year. It only makes sense they would do it again for the flagship Bowman at the end of this month.
Interesting how much SGC's been doing with Fanatics since they've taken over.
I thought that too. I thought to myself that it's kind of interesting that PSA is not involved in stuff like this. And it makes me think, we talked about this, I think, in the very first episode. We keep referencing the very first episode. But as Fanatics is getting more prevalent in the hobby, that was our first episode. Go back and watch it. It's actually not as terrible as you would think for a first episode. But, we talked about Fanatics wanting to have their tentacles in every facet of the hobby, right? I mean, and I don't know if we made the point or who made the point that instead of creating their own grading company, wouldn't be interesting if they bought their own grading company. I mean,
we've talked about that a couple times. Yeah, like I know at the beginning, with Michael Rubin's connections with CSG, we thought that'd be a possibility. I know I threw out Beckett just throwing.
Beckett made a lot of sense too.
It was a name, and they're in total disarray. But maybe they're too much in disarray. Maybe not interested. But like,
I did send a card to them, so that's why they're going to go out of business.
True. Yeah, it is interesting though that like PSA, as far as I know, really hasn't done any kind of cross promotion thing with Fanatics and Topps yet, have they?
Not that I know of. No, I mean, I did see there's one YouTuber that they're going to get a special label put on their PSA graded cards for like some giveaway they're doing. Okay. But I mean, other than that, but like you would think PSA would be doing this, but I wonder if there's a strong connection that was built with the Chrome deal and then with the Topps deal and now Bowman. I wonder if they feel better dealing with or working with the SGC.
Because if you have the biggest card, what's going to be the biggest card company in the history of cards, regardless if you like them, hate them, whatever, Mike's right. They are going to, they're a big boy company, right? They are going to be the biggest card company that we've ever seen once they get all the licenses. If they are putting the little, the sword, knighting SGC as their grader of choice, I mean, we're going to talk about the numbers here shortly. I mean, that's a big, big deal to have Fanatics kind of anoint SGC as their grader. I mean, that would be a huge deal for SGC. I don't think it would hurt PSA because people are still going to obviously go to PSA for a long, long time. But that's huge to move SGC into number 2 as an overall grader. And because if they're doing this for baseball, they'll do it for other sports too. Right. If they're doing Topps flagship football, they're going to do this type of thing for that. I would suspect.
Yep. We talked about it, I think, all the way back in the first episode too, about, PSA is number 1. We're going to get into grading numbers, not even close. But again, things can change. You look at things right now, like you don't see, looking at the numbers, any possible way that any other company is going to grade more cards than PSA, right? But if Fanatics 10x's the hobby, you're going to have 10 times the people in the hobby, and none of those people are going to have that PSA bias, and you don't know what could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but just don't think that PSA can't ever, not be number 1 anymore, because you don't know. If Fanatics grows the hobby and you have a whole lot of new people in, and Fanatics decides to push people in another direction, or if they buy a grading company, that grading company could eventually become the number 1 grading company. All those new people be like, well, the company that has the card says this one. Why would I go to that other one? Like, I don't know. It just, you never know. Don't take anything for granted in business and collectibles, whatever. Things can change and usually do.
Now, during this real-time grading, if all of these cards, pack fresh cards come as SGC 8s, Fanatics may forget about them a little bit and find another grading company. But yeah, I'm gonna be really interested to see the first stinker. I really want to see like a really bad grade on one of these cards just to see how, because are they going to do the reveals live?
I
I feel like they're gonna have to screen some of the cards in some way, right? They're not just gonna like, not every card is going to get graded. There's no way, right?
Not every card for sure. You would think it'd probably be like the rookies, the autographs, the inserts. What if you don't want them graded? I mean, I guess that's part of the package. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I'd love to see that reveal.
I mean, all this speculation is based off like a 30-second video from Layton's Instagram account. So we don't know. Nobody else really knows. But I think it's fun, and I'm excited to find out what it's going to look like. So,
you know what the worst thing about that video was? The guy interviewing him had his sunglasses backwards and upside down. Like, dude, come on. Like, these people in Florida, man. No offense to any of our viewers in Florida, but come on.
there goes the viewership.
There goes the viewership in Florida.
Hey, it's not like Seattle. Let me tell you that. We love
our friends in Seattle.
Yeah. Cheers to Seattle.
Cheers
on the audio
to Seattle.
Podcast. Yes. We do have an audio version of this podcast, and people in Seattle are big supporters. I don't know why, but we appreciate it. So, well, we've been talking about these companies. I'm going to say it. PSA finally didn't grade 1 million cards. Can you believe it?
It's crazy.
They graded 1.22 million cards. Yep. Holy crap. Yeah, I can say whatever I want to about PSA in the future, but right now, holy crap, they're dominating the market. They're up 22%, 1.22 million, just mind-blowing for a month. SGC had 121K. They were up 31%. So that was a big month for them, with obviously
up 31% and still baseball. Behind them by 1 million.
Oh yeah, over 1 million.
Literal
11
million.
Yeah, 1.1 million. CSG only had the CGC numbers again. They were 84K, down 17%. Beckett was at 71K, up 11%.
Yeah.
So sports cards, PSA was 675. SGC was 110K. We don't know CSG, and Beckett was 32K. And non-sports and trading card, PSA was 550K. SGC was 10K. They don't do many of those, and their special was over, so I guess that's why they went down. CGC was 84K and 38K for Beckett, so that's pretty good for them. But yeah, wow, over, like, if you count the CSG cards that weren't in the pop report, like well over 1.5 million cards total graded in the month of March. That's crazy.
To answer the question, do people grade too many cards? Yes. Were 1.5 million cards graded? Were 1.5 million cards that were graded this month necessary to be graded? I'm gonna say probably
close to 1 million. Probably weren't needed to be. But hey, I'm guilty of having some of those cards. Mine aren't in the numbers, so
I sent cards in too. This cycle. I mean, the SGC. I think guessing my baseball cards from the SGC are probably part of that. Mm-hmm. So like, I've grade whatever you want. But I mean, if you have the money to grade whatever you want, grade whatever you want. Right. But there's probably a lot of cards that probably shouldn't have been graded in that group.
By the way, it's
shoulda. Who decides?
It's funny. We talked about Beckett last week and the kerfluffle with their grading scale, up 11% overall, 71K that they graded. And I mentioned this on Dustin did his video on the GemRate data, and I commented on that he was surprised that Beckett was up 27% in non-sports. And I reminded him that people who grade like the Marvel PMGs and things like that, they really, really like Beckett.
Mhm.
And because of the way Beckett grades, they do not beat the crap out of those type of cards. They don't, the thick cards that come out in a lot of the non-sports products. I mean, that's the choice. That's the grader of choice for those people.
Do they have anything on there that breaks down the trading card game? I don't know if they do, like the difference between the actual non-sports and the trading cards. I mean, trading card games. Because you have to. Go ahead.
So it looks like it does. So it looks like TCG Beckett was up 27%. Did they run a special? Did they run like a Pokemon special or something?
They've been running a special in general. They lowered the price,
Yeah.
I think, $18. So that
Yeah.
probably helped too. Although the Beckett numbers will be interesting to see what they do for April after the fiasco they had with changing the grading scale and then not changing it. So I don't know. It'll be see how many people other than Joe decided to send cards into Beckett after that.
And Mike, you're the reason I did it, so I blame you.
It's
Yeah.
crazy that
You're right.
PSA's TCG number is up 18% because they're already grading tons and tons of Pokemon
Yeah.
already, right? Like it just,
they're
crazy.
still running their special too, though. So they're probably grading a lot of the ones that they got from the special.
They're finally hitting the pop
Yeah.
report. Yeah.
Mine are still there and aren't even like in the pop report yet. So they definitely like my trading card game and non-sport order is moving slower than my other orders have. So I think they might have gotten, quite a bit sent in. We know people love grading Pokemon, so probably a ton of that. And
Yeah.
I would love to see the grader though that gets my Anthrax card.
That by the way, that did sound great when you're like, when I send that grader Anthrax, that
I didn't say it like that.
Crazy. I'm a little upset with CSG. This is what 2 months in a row now they're having pop report maintenance. I'd really like to know what's going on with that. But what I'm really disappointed about is CGC. That was my bold prediction that they were going to not overtake, but really, really make a huge jump, getting closer and closer to PSA in terms of non-sports. And they're down 17% from last month. I mean, that has a lot to do with that coincides with PSA being up 18%, running that extended special. But still, it's. I mean, they're going to have to look at that because I could see PSA saying, "Oh, we're gonna start another special up." Like PSA will constantly run these specials to start picking at these other grading companies, right?
Or just keep the number at that. This is a Pokemon level, or this is our TCG level. You know what I mean? Like they could just do that. No, not even make it a special. Just make it the number.
Well, they're sure getting cards. Holy cow!
Yeah. So, what do we think the numbers are going to be next month? Considering like you said, Mike, they probably got an influx. Those people, like we said about when the special is about to be over, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I just missed it," and then they extend it for a month, and then they just get a crap ton more dumped in. Like how many more?
Yeah, we did that again. Like I did that at the end of what month? February, and then we jointly put together another order I sent at the end of March. So I mean, it's crazy. Like,
can it go up? Can it go up to?
Oh yeah,
1.2?
I could see it going up because, like you said, EP people at the very end of the month are like, "Oh, I might as well just throw something together since they extended it." I mean, jeez, could you imagine 1.3 million cards graded just from PSA?
My concern with this, though, and EP and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. We've been watching, PSA reveals, and Joe, you just had one yourself. Like the grades, there are some grades that are coming back that are just people are dumbfounded by. I saw somebody on Twitter who had an ultra modern card, I forget what it was, that was graded a 2. A 2. Like we've seen a vintage card that's a 2, right? With the creases, rounded corner. Like how in the world did they put a 2? Like you could look at the card and see there was not any of that on there.
Even if there was a massive print line, that doesn't drop it to a 2.
Like you'd have to be missing like the entire back of the card or something crazy like that to get a 2 or a 1.
And like people joke around, and I know Lico 3 has said I think they probably just hit the wrong number. Like he'll see a card 6. No, I mean, but you know what I mean. Like a card that's like a 6, and he's like, "Oh, I had this pre-graded at a 9. There is no way this is a 6." I wouldn't be surprised if they hit the wrong number, which is really disconcerting considering it goes through QA1 and QA2. Who is looking at an ultra modern card and saying, "Oh yeah, this 2 checks out"? Like it's very, very confusing. We've said this from the jump that the quality control of PSA just really isn't that great. I mean, beyond just the grades, they sent me slabs that are all scuffed up and they have like blotches on the plastic. It's like you're paying a lot of money if you're not using a special. You're paying $25 a card. You're telling me that they can't accurately grade it and put it in a nice, clean slab for $25? That seems ridiculous. And, at the end of the day, people, myself included, throw up the clip if you want to. I said I would never grade with them again. And I've graded with them like 2 or 3 times since then. I mean, it's just because they are the biggest show in town. They just absolutely are. The resale value for right or for wrong is with PSA.
Yeah. And the more and more cards they grade, the more and more mistakes they're going to make. I mean, they have a lot more newer graders looking at the cards, and they're looking at a lot of cards. They're going to make mistakes, and we're going to get cards back. Like, I'm not excited to get my orders back after watching some of the stuff I've seen lately, but unfortunately, that goes hand in hand. I don't think anybody's really surprised that a company that couldn't handle all this stuff a couple years ago is now grading over 1.2 million cards in a month. And I don't think we're shocked that they're going to send back some grades that just aren't right. They're not right.
What they say the average was, someone looks at your card like 10 seconds or something like that.
Like 20 seconds. Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Well, I think I'm actually at a point where I have putting together my first like sports card order for PSA. You guys have both done this already a long time ago, and I'm at the point where I'm now thinking about doing this, but I have all these concerns running through my head. Like, do I send in 10 cards at a time in case I get a bad grader, or do I send in like 20 or 30 cards, hoping that at least a couple of them will be 10, so it'll help to even everything out. And so I love, again, the videos that I've seen, like people are getting grades that they're not happy with, and I have concerns about sending some cards in.
Yeah, it really does make you worry.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that sucks is the shipping you're going to be paying.
Yeah,
I mean, PSA shipping is like $35 to ship cards back. I mean, so plus the shipping there, you're talking $10-15. So
you almost have to do the bigger order just because.
And you just kind of roll the dice at that point and hope you don't get someone who just got served their divorce papers, except for Ziggy, who would have approved of that, and it would have made his day a little brighter. Most people wouldn't. And some graders are just, you can't tell me it's not subjective. You cannot tell me that.
No, you can't. All right, guys, I think we'll pack it up there. That was a pretty good chat this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Adios.
See you, boys.